Hello, good evening. This is Tunde Disu once again. Sorry for that short break in transmission. That's internet for you. Right, so I'll start again. Good evening and welcome once again to today's program on Become a Better Man. My name is Tunde Disu. It's an honor for me to have you to share this day with you on this program. And I've been looking forward to this so much. I've had a very kind of an interesting week. Been a little bit of coughing here and there, but nothing is going to stop me from being on this program. And here we are. So, on today's program, we will be continuing with the topic that we started looking at last week. Remember, last week we started looking at resilience. What does it mean? What are some of the characteristics or the traits of people that have it? Is it something that is only available to some and others can't have it? Or is it something that we all have, we just need to find it, use it, dig deep and dig it out and use it for ourselves and for others around us? So we looked at different aspects of the topic on resilience. And one of the things we said was, we defined resilience as the ability to cope with adversities, to cope and manage and use adversities, to refuse to allow adversities and the challenges of life to overcome us, to keep us down, but rather to find within ourselves the strength, the power, the courage, the enablement to rise above the situations and circumstances that we face in life, but more than rising above it, to lay hold of our lives and make something positive, something great, something wonderful out of the ashes of the ruins. And that is what resilience is all about. It is about facing the challenges of life, coming through the challenges of life, and going forward to live a fruitful, wonderful, fun, and adventurous life that people will look at you and they will be asking, I thought this guy had this issue. I thought this lady went through this situation. Was that not the family that did so and so happened to? How come? Look at where they are. Few years down the line, few months down the line, they have regained themselves. But more than that, they have used the challenges that life throw at them as stepping stone to rise to a higher level. And that is the power of resilience. That is what you and I have. That is what you and I can do. That is what you and I can become. That is what we are made to do and be. The Bible talks about a righteous man may fall 7 times, but he will still get up. What does that mean? There is enough power in you and I. There is enough strength. There is enough ability in you and in me to rise up from the challenges, to rise up from life's attempt to keep us down. Because we're not meant to hang on the ground. We are eagles. We are meant to soar above life challenges, situations, and circumstances. The power that we need, the power that is available to us, the power that will enable us do all of this is on the inside. And that is the power of resilience. Having resilience, however, does not mean you won't struggle. In fact, one of the things that will identify and differentiate you and nominate you, as it were, as a resilient person, is your ability to face the struggles of life and come out without the smell of smoke, as it were. So it doesn't mean you won't struggle. It doesn't mean you will not make mistakes. In fact, it doesn't mean you are complete to the point that you don't need anybody's help. No. In fact, when we looked at it last week, One of the characteristics of resilient people is their ability to know when to ask for help. They know the limit of their ability, of how far they can go, and when to reach out and ask for people's help. So those are some of the things that we looked at last week. We also looked at some of the challenges that we come across in life. Some of them we said we prepare for them, or some of them we invited them, either by omission or commission. But some of them we didn't see it coming. It was just in our front room before we can even say good morning. In all of this, the question remains, how do we fortify our psyche? How do we guard ourselves? How do we prepare ourselves? How do we come to a point or a place, a situation, a conclusion in our lives that we are able to ride the waves, these waves of adversity, rather than being pulled down under its torrent, under its power, rather than being held down by the claws of challenges in life. But somehow we have the ability. How did we arrive at that? How did we fortify and prepare ourselves and our psyche and our ability to rise and ride the waves of adversity? The way we did that, the only way to do that is by building your resilience, by boosting your resilience. And that is what we're looking at tonight. Building and boosting your resilience. Building and boosting your resilience is what we are looking at tonight. Because the question is, how is it that some people handle terrible things, incredible amount of stress? I mean, some things that even you hearing about it, your afro is going curly. Just listening to their story, tears are running down your cheeks. Just hearing about the trauma that they have to endure and go through, your bowel of compassion is overrunning to them. And yet, these people, somehow they are almost like superhuman in their ability to handle incredible amount of stress. But at the same time, there are others who haven't seen a tenth of this same issue, and yet they are crumbling under the pressure. What differentiates them? What is the difference between these people and that people? And the difference, ladies and gentlemen, is resilience. The difference is resilience. And that's why we'll be looking today at how to develop it, how to build it, how to reach deep down on the inside and pull it out. You know, the Bible says wisdom is like a well in the heart of a man, but a man of understanding will dig deep and pull it out. And that is what we're looking at tonight. How to build and how to boost resilience. For some of us who work in the corporate world or in any sphere of business or life that you are in, every now and again as a business, you pull your team together and you analyze the past records of your, maybe at the end of the first half of the year, the team will come together and you say, okay, let's look at our performance for the past 6 months. How did we do? What were the challenges? What lessons were learned? What did we do new? And you go through the past record, you examine your current situation, and in the process of that, you also consider what is the future trend so that we can prepare ourselves, so that we can put ourselves in a position where whatever the future is bringing, we are ready to tackle it and excel. We look at the pros and cons of every decision that were made. We look at our SWOT analysis. We look at, okay, what are our strengths and our weaknesses? What are the threats out there? What are some of the opportunities that we can take advantage of? We do all of this in our business world. But the question is, when it comes to our lives, when it comes to our person, when it comes to our families, when it comes to our personal business, personal issues, We don't do it. We don't do it. When it comes to measuring and strengthening our own ability, the ability and the power to adapt, the power to grow, the power to prosper, the power to excel, we rarely apply the same principle that we apply in our business world. We rarely apply it methodically to ourselves. And the question is why? The reason we don't do that is because we have not built our resilient level to a point where it will happen almost automatically. It will evolve without us trying. Let me ask for your indulgence tonight. Like I said at the beginning, I've got a very tickly throat, so in case my voice is a bit uneven, please bear with me. I will try as much as possible to keep myself audible so that you can hear me. So please bear with me. So when it comes to building resilience, what are the tricks of the trade? What do we need to do? How do we build these tricks how do we build resilience in our lives so that we can not just face the challenges of life, but we can be prepared for them? But more than that, we can excel, we can come out of them in flying colors. The first thing that we must do to build our resilience is to build what I call our positivity currency. We need to build our positivity currency. What do I mean by that? What is a positivity currency? Is a method by which you approach everything in life from a positive. The internet is really playing with us today, so please bear. I just realized that the screen was frozen for a few seconds there. You approach life from a positive interaction. You approach event from a positive point of view. And the memory of you focusing on positive things and expressing gratitude for those things, they are the building blocks. They are the fabrics. They are the ingredients that is needed, that is required for you to build your resilience. The ability for you to look at things from a positive point of view, but be grateful for the situation. Now, you probably will be saying, if only, Tunde, if only you know what is going on, you won't be telling me to be grateful. If only you can just sit in my seat, put your feet in my shoes, and just wear my hat for half a day, then you'll understand that there is nothing to be grateful for. Well, I'm glad you said that, because the reality is, even in the midst of the trials and the challenges and the issues of life, even where you are right now, you're still better off than some people. Okay, maybe the issue you have is that you don't have enough money to pay your bills, which is a genuine, a serious matter to be truthful. But the reality is there's somebody who has all the money in this world, who can pay the bills and buy the owner of the bills and the company that's sending you the bills. He or she's got all the money, but they are tied up in a bed somewhere. Can't eat, can't drink, can't go to the toilet, can't open their eyes, can't talk, can't feel, can't see, can't hear. The question is, what would you rather have? So all I'm saying is, yes, the situation is challenging. Yes, the situation is pressing you, is buffeting you in every aspect, in every area, in all sides of your being. Yes, the reality is there. But even in the midst of that reality, if you can just bring yourself to the point where you look at it from a positive angle, and two, you have the strength. Believe me, it's not easy, but you need to find that strength to say, even though in all of this, I'm still grateful. I am still grateful. When you bring these two elements together, the positivity approach and the mindset of being a grateful person, of gratitude, when you add the two together, the first thing it will do is it will build something in you that no wind can knock off. No storm can drag you down. No earthquake can shake you off, because you have established two strong pillars of positive approach and grateful mindset. So the first thing you need to do if you want to build your resistance is to have a positive outlook to things in life and be grateful. Add gratitude to your positivity. And when you do that, what you are doing is you are building real value. Real value. And real value is the ingredient, the most critical ingredient in building resilience. Because in the face of all the challenges, you can still see the value in your standing. You can see the value in your refusal to give up. You can see the value in your determination to see it through. That is the way you build resilience. Another way you build resilience is by adopting an investment portfolio approach. When you talk to a financial broker and you say, okay, I have this money or I have this capital that I want to invest, what they will do is they will not put all that money into one bag. They will diversify your portfolio. They will split it into different angles. Even so, the Bible said it. It said, sow your seed. So you cast your bread, some in the morning, sow your seed in the afternoon, in the evening, at different times, because you don't know which one will yield good result for you. It's the same thing when it comes to building your resilience. Diversify your investment or your risks. Increase your overall resilience by evaluating what is it that will provide the highest return across your entire life, and then invest more in those areas. What would you, when you look at your life, when you look at your existence, when you look at around you, the things in your life, you need to ask yourself, of all these variables, of all these options, of all these avenue of investment, which one will return the highest reward? I am not talking of buying stocks and putting money in savings. That is a financial investment. I'm talking about when it comes to your life, approach your life with the mentality of an investor with diversification in his portfolio. Most frequently, the things that will give you the highest return on your investment are those things that we care or we value less. Those things that we didn't put enough or adequate valuation on, they are the things that will yield and return the greatest return on our investment. What are they? Your family, your friends, your health, your community, your spouse, your children, yourself, your body. When you invest in those things, when the challenges of life will come, when the trouble of life will knock on your door, it will be too late for you to call Barclays Bank to say, can you cash in my investment now? It will be too late for you to call your financial advisor. It is your family that will be there with you. It's your friends that will come around you. It's your community that will rally around you and refuse for you to be drowned in the sea of life situation. When you invest with the mindset that the greatest return, the biggest return that you will get from your investment are the investment that you make in your family, your friends, your community, and yourself. When challenges of life comes, you will excel because you will have built enough resilience, not just in yourself, but in the support system that is around you. And that is what will help you to overcome it. Thank you for all of you that are joining. I appreciate you and I honor your time. Thank you, but please do me a great honor and let's just hit the share button so that others can partake of what we're talking about. I appreciate you. I thank you in advance for it. Number 3, the third way by which you can build resilience is that you need to always just look at the situations that you are facing and ask yourself, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Every coin has two sides, head or tail. The law of probability said when you flick that coin, you have one chance in 2 to have head and one chance in 2 to have tail. When life challenges come, that is the coin you have that you can flick. It's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. But you have to decide which one is it going to be. When things don't work out the way we expected or the way we plan, when life throw a curve, when challenges of life, especially the unexpected ones, when they spring up at us, the first thing that goes off in our head is to say, this is a bad thing. This is terrible. This is just not my expectation. I really didn't plan for this. And rightly so, you didn't plan for it, you weren't expecting it. But that is life. Life will always happen. Usually, the initial response is to label it, this is bad. However, if you would just hold yourself before you put that label sticker on it as a bad thing, if you will just catch yourself, if you can just hold yourself, if you can just stop breathing for a few seconds and just ask these 2 questions, because the response that you will get will determine if actually your perception of this as being a bad thing or a good thing will be determined. The first question you should ask yourself in an attempt, in the course of you trying to build resilience, this is what we're talking about today, building and boosting resilience. The first question you should ask yourself is, excuse me. The first question you should ask yourself is there any possible way in which this could actually turn out to be good? Nothing is completely bad. Behind every dark cloud, there's a silver lining of sunshine. So ask yourself, is there any is it possible? Is there a chance in heaven? Is there the possibility that in the midst of all of these calamities and situations, could there be anything good that can come out of this? The second question you should ask is, what can I do to make this bad thing to turn out to be good? Because you see, you need to understand this thing. It's here now. It's right in your plate, right in your sitting room. I mean, he's feeding from your pot in the kitchen. So there is no running away from it. So the first question is, okay, you're here now. But even while you are here, is there any chance that something good could come out of this current situation? Number 2, what can I do personally within my power? What is within my power that I can do to turn this seemingly bad thing to turn it to good? What can I do? You see, the result, that the answer that you come out with, the result that you find from those two questions is what will open doors of opportunities. It's what will open gates of avenue. It's what will open the floodgate of ideas, of concepts, of possibilities, of way out, of things that you have not even, you never even consider. Suddenly, your eyes of understanding is enlightened. Suddenly, your senses will go into operation. Suddenly, your mind will start to formulate ideas and formulate way by which you can come out of that calamity. That is how you build resilience. That's how you build resilience. I don't know if this is helping somebody out there. Thank you, Prophetess Ayi. I really enjoy your lecture. More grace. Watching from Italy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, ma'am. Pastor Sakwe Ambrose. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you too. Another way by which you can build resilience is to practice what is called homeostasis. Homeostasis, I'm not a medical person, but homeostasis is a fundamental biological concept that describes the ability of our brain to continuously restore and sustain well-being. It's something to do with our brain that even in the midst of all the light bulbs going and every siren blaring and the fire engine going and everything is crumbling, our brain has the ability to continuously restore and sustain our well-being. Because our brain is able to do that, we then have the ability, if we are able to harness that ability of our brain to continually restore balance and sustain our well-being. If we can tap into that, suddenly those issues around you, even though the whole world is crumbling around you, there's just this sense of peace. And that's why people will ask, he doesn't even look like this is affecting him. She's just going about her normal business as if nothing has happened. The reason those people are able to do that is because they've been able to plug into this ability of the brain to restore and sustain well-being. The key to resilience is to try really hard. Try hard. Give it your best shot. Give it everything you've got. And then stop. Give yourself time to recover, time to reflect, time to gather your strength, time to re-strategize, time to put other plans in motion, and then go at it again. Even in the military, in a war zone, that's what they do. They will go attack, and then they will withdraw back into their trenches. They will count their losses. They will make new plans. They will plan new strategies. They will change their tactics, and then they will go again. But while they were in their trenches, the wounded are treated, the dead are buried, the ones that are alive, they reload their guns, they recharge their energy, they are a new vision is cast to them, and then they go again. It's the same thing when it comes to you building resilience. Is to be able to tap into that energy that comes from your brain being able to continuously restore and sustain your well-being. And as you do that, You go at it. You face the issue. You go at it with all you've got. But then there comes a time when you need to now hold back. You stop. Not that you give up. You stop yourself. Count your losses. Reorganize. Re-energize. Re-strategize. And recover yourself from all the labor that your weariness. Regain your strength. Have some water. Take some vitamins, whatever it's required for you to come back to your fighting fit level. And then you go again. You see, when our body is out of alignment, when our body is out of kilt from overworking, when we continue to badge without stopping, without pausing to recover, when we continue to go at 100 miles an hour, a time will come when our body will shut down. When that happens, we will need a longer time and even more energy and more resources to come out of that breakdown and then start building ourselves up again to come back to our level of being able to face life. But if you will regulate yourself, you go at it, and then you stop. Pull back. Sit down. Catch your breath. Recover. Re-strategize. Re-energize. Refresh yourself. And then go at it again. You will realize that every time you go at it, you make more progress than to continue to bang on it. And then a time will come when you won't even have the strength to take the next shot. Another way by which you build resilience is to build positive beliefs in your own abilities. Have a positive belief in your own abilities. You see, when challenges of life, when they come for one reason and one reason only. To ask us a question. What are you made of? What is in you? What is your content? How far are you willing to go on this journey? When the challenges of life comes, they have come to knock on our door. Somebody said, when fear comes to knock at your door, you send faith to open the door. And you will realize there's nobody there. The challenges of life, they've come for one reason and one reason only. To test your belief, your belief in your own ability. The Bible talks about offense will come, but it will come to try the word that's in you. So when challenges of life come, the question is asking is, who are you? Who are you? What do you have? What are you made of? What is your content? What is your confidence? What is giving you the boldness, the audacity to think you can even face me? You remember the story of David and Goliath. Goliath was the challenge of life for the army of Israel. And every morning he would come out and roar, and they were all... He didn't shoot anybody. He didn't kill anybody. All he did was ask them, who do you say you are? What have you got? He even went as far as to say, send out one of the best that you have to face me. That is what challenges in life. That's all they do. They knock on your door and say, knock, knock, who is there? Are you going to answer, or are you going to run under your duvet? But your ability to believe in your own ability is called self-esteem. You see, self-esteem plays an important role in how we handle and how we cope with stress and how we recover from difficult situations. Self-esteem is of paramount importance. It is crucial how much you believe in your own ability. You see, the reality is, when I do, for instance, in my ability to succeed training program, when I teach on goal settings and how to achieve your goals, one of the questions I normally ask the audience is, how many of you have set goals before? And you can see a few hands will go up, and gradually even the ones that goes up will start coming down. And I will say, the truth is, everybody in this room, you have set goals before and you have achieved it. And you see people looking around to like, is it talking to you? Because I don't think I've ever set a goal, or talk less of even achieving it. Then I ask them, how many of you have been through the primary school education? Oh yes. Secondary school? Oh yes. How many of you have? And gradually they start realizing that those things that they did, that they have come through, that they have now put behind them, and they have almost forgotten about, they were goals. There was a day you are enrolled in primary school, and you were in that school for 6 years. You finished your primary school before you now started your secondary school. But secondary school was like far, far out there when you were in primary one. But you achieved your goal. Now there's a new goal of secondary school. And at that time, university is like, maybe not for people like me. But one day, you finish your secondary school, you did your A-levels, and you're now an undergraduate. What am I saying? I'm saying, somehow, somewhere, we have all achieved something positive in our lives. No, not one person on this planet has lived without one achievement in their life. We've all achieved something positive in our lives. So the key to building resilience is to remind yourself of what it took you, the strength that you had to put in to pass through your primary school, the commitment, the dedication, the forthrightness that you have to commit for you to come out of secondary school, for you to be a graduate, for you to even start applying for job, for you to sit down in an interview room, for you to approach your spouse and say, I'd like to spend the rest of my life with you. Those are achievements in life. And you can only have those ones because of your self-esteem. But what I'm saying here is for you to look back at those achievements and use them as a springboard. Like David said to Goliath, one day a lion came and I whooped its tail. A bear came after my sheep. Guess what? We had the skin at home. We're using it to wipe our feet because I dealt with it. That same power, that same ability that I had to deal with the lion and the bear is the same that I'm going to use against you uncircumcised Philistine. What was he saying? He remembered his positive achievements, things that he had done in the past, and that built a level of self-esteem in him that says to him, you can't fail. You are failure-proof. And so when life challenges come, when you face the issues of life, it's not the time for you to fold your arms and cry your eyes out. No, that's the time for you to say, give me that my photo album. Let me see how we did it. Let me remind myself of where we're coming from. Let me show myself of what we have achieved. Let me bring myself back to my senses and say to myself, guess what? I'm not a loser. I'm a winner, and I am going to win again. I am not a sissy. I am a man of man. I am going to face this and I'm going to take it for lunch. Moses said, 40 years ago, I took this mountain. 40 years afterward, give it to me again. I will whoop its tail. What was he doing? He was reminding himself of the positive achievements of the past and using that to build a resilience to face the new challenge that life has thrown at him. Another way you can build resilience is to embrace change. Embrace change. Change is the only thing in life that is permanent, because it will always happen. There was a day you were born and your parents were dancing. Now you have your own children, and your children are having their own children for some of you. There was a day when it was a dream. There was a day when it was a dream to say, I am going to have my own family one day. I am going to have my own children. There was a day when it was a dream that I'm going to have my own car. There was a day when it was a dream that I'm going to finish my university degree. There was a day when it was a dream that I'm going to pursue the vision that God has birthed in my heart. There was a day when all of these were dreams. But then something happened. What happened? Change came. And because you embrace that change, you are where you are today. So, in order for you to build resilience, you need to embrace change. You see, flexibility is an essential part of building resilience. You have to be pliable. You have to be flexible. By being more open to new things and being adaptable to new situations and circumstances, you are actually preparing yourself. You are building those ingredients, those elements that is required, that is needed for you to now face the challenges that life is going to bring to you. And that is one of the advantages of being, sometimes, for lack of better term, being a street person. Because you have seen the rough, you have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. So when you go out there, when you are now on your own, and a small Chihuahua dog is now harassing you, you're looking at and you're saying, please, I've passed that level. But if you are somebody that has never been exposed to the changes of life and the things that is happening to others, every little thing, you're picking up your phone, Dad, there's a spider in my room. Your dad is not going to come to the university to kill the spider in your room. I know that sounds trivial, but it could be as trivial as that. Embrace change, because the more you open yourself up to new things, the more you make yourself adaptable to new environments, to new community, the more you travel far and wide. One of the greatest things in my life, one of the biggest things that God did for me through my uncle, was to expose me to different communities, different people from far and wide. I finished my secondary school at 16. Before I could even turn 16 and a half, my uncle grabbed me and took me far to the other side of the country. I couldn't settle there. We were going from one village to another, from one place to another, meeting different people, exposed to different communities, eat different types of food. And today, there's nowhere in the world, and I say that with all humility, there's nowhere in the world where I can't fit in, because I've been exposed to it. Meanwhile, there's some people, since they were born, they've not even gone out of their village. Now you bring such person to a foreign land, and it's like, get me out of here, I'm a celebrity. You need to embrace change. While some people may be crushed by abrupt change, highly resilient individuals are able to adapt, but more than that, they're able to thrive. Embrace change. Oh, wow. What are we doing? Another way of building resilience is that you need to develop your problem-solving skills. Ladies and gentlemen, let me help you. Problem is a part of life. Problem sometimes is the easy proof that there is life. Problem is inevitable. Simply waiting for a problem to go away on its own will only prolong the crisis. I know some of us, including myself, there have been situations where you think, if I ignore it long enough, it will go away. No, they don't go away. They breed. They have children, and their children start having children. And before you know it, a problem that is just like your fingertip has now consumed your whole arm. Problem doesn't just go away. Whenever you encounter a new challenge, quickly identify some of the potential ways you could solve the problem. But more than that, take steps to follow what you have identified. Because as you identify it, you are also picking up the excuse me. As you identify the issue, as you identify how to solve it, you're also picking up what is needed to solve the problem. So all you then need to do is to start applying those traits that you're picking up. When you have issues, when problem comes, which they will always do, experiment with different strategies. Don't be narrow-minded and myopic about it. What about this? Can we try this? Have we tried that? Who can we talk to? Where can we find example? Who can we seek help from? Do we need assistance? And just approach it with different strategies. By practicing your problem-solving skill on a regular basis, you are better prepared to cope when a serious challenge emerges. For instance, I have been following with deep interest the situation in Puerto Rico since what's it called? The tornado that ripped through that place. And I have been following. And the last I heard from the mayor of Puerto Rico was that there are some people, in fact, she used her own parents. She said, as at that day, which was about a week ago or a week and a half ago, they have been going for 72 solid days without electricity. 72 days. They don't live in Nigeria, by the way. This is Puerto Rico, part of the United States of America. But for 72 days, they have been going without electricity. Let me give you something for you to, so that you can try and imagine. These are people that have probably never experienced half an hour without power, without electricity. It's a 24 non-negotiable, always going power supply. But now, maybe 80 days now, maybe 80 something days, and yet no electricity. The question is, how have they survived? How have they been managing? How have they been coping? How have they been going about their normal life in that period? It is because somewhere along the line, most of these people, because Puerto Rico is an island, it's in the middle of water. So when you are in that situation, you have to start developing different problem-solving skills. You have to start training yourself psychologically, mentally, physically, emotionally. Prepare yourself. You see, one of the biggest thing, one of the greatest assets that people in Africa they have over most of us here in the developed world is that in Africa, nothing is given to you. Nothing. Nothing is given to you. You have to find it. You have to go after it. You have to get it. You have to make it. You have to use it. And because of that, people wonder, how do people in Africa living on maybe $2 a day, maybe £1 a day, and yet they're smiling, they're happy, they're going for fun, they're enjoying it. And those of us here, you're wondering, what? One pound? But you see, to the man in Africa, to the man in Asia, to the man in any part of the so-called developing world, they have learned how to solve problems. They have developed their problem-solving skills. They're not waiting for government to provide anything, because no government is going to provide. So you got to provide for yourself. So one of the ways by which you build your resilience is to develop your problem-solving skills. I'll take one more and then we'll start to round up. Another way by which you can build resilience is find a sense of purpose in your life. Find a sense of purpose in your life. You see, Bible talks about my people perish for lack of wisdom. And where there's no vision, is the people that suffer. When you have something that is bigger and greater than you, it will keep you going longer than your energy can. When I was preparing for this program, I read about a lady, has a daughter, 13-year-old daughter. And one day, a drunk driver killed that girl, that 13-year-old girl. The case went to court. The guy was found guilty, but was given very, very little sentence. And the woman felt, that's not right. My 13-year-old daughter is dead, and all the judge can give this guy is a menial, next to nothing punishment. At that point, she had to make a choice. Live the rest of her life wallowing in pity and condemnation, or turn that lemon into lemonade. And what she did was she made a vow that for as long as she's alive, she's going to do whatever it takes to bring awareness of the danger of driving under the influence of either alcohol or drug. She started a movement called Mothers Against Drunk Driving. MADD, M-A-D-D. Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And with that vision, with that passion, that movement gained ground nationwide. And everywhere people talk about drunk driving, they're talking not just about the movement, but they're remembering the 13-year-old daughter that was killed that led to the birth of that vision. So one of the ways by which you can build resilience is for you to find a sense of purpose in your life. Involve yourself in something that is bigger than you, that is more important than yourself, that is of eternal value. In the face of crisis or tragedy, finding a sense of purpose can play an important role, even in your recovery. Not just in building resilience, but even in your recovery. Become part of something that is bigger than yourself. Get involved with your community. Cultivate your spirituality, or participate in activities that are meaningful to you. Do something with the lemon that life has handed over to you, and put a counter in front of your house and start to sell lemonade. find a sense of purpose in your life. Quickly, what are the roadblocks to building resilience? 3 of them. The first one is personalization. Personalization is the first roadblock to building resilience. What is personalization? Personalization is the belief that the challenge or the trauma that you are facing, you are responsible for it. It happened because you are responsible for it. It is your fault that you are facing that challenge. It is your responsibility that the situation is what it is. Now, in some cases, it could be. It could well have been. But in most cases, it's not. A good example is where you have people that have been either abused or molested, either as a child or as a teenager, even in adulthood. Even people in troubled marriages that is abusive physically, they always find a way to blame it on themselves. It's my fault. If I didn't say that, he wouldn't have slapped me. If I didn't do that, he wouldn't have reacted that way. No. Personalization, it strips you. How can I say this? Personalization will block the road to building resilience in you, because personalization thrives on the spirit of condemnation and guilt. You are feeling guilty for what is not your fault, and therefore you are condemning yourself. You are condemning yourself for what is nothing to do with you, therefore you are feeling guilty. Therefore you are handicapped. Your arms are tied behind you from developing and building the strength that you need to come out of that challenge. So the first roadblock, the first thing that will stop you from building resilience is personalization. When you personalize, when you internalize, when you accept or you put on yourself a guilt, a condemnation, a fault that is not your own, you will not be able to build the power to rise above it, because there is a sense that, well, the punishment I'm going through is because of what I've done, when it's not the case. The number 2 roadblock to building resilience is pervasiveness. A sense of pervasiveness. What's the meaning of that? Pervasiveness is the sense and the belief that the hardship, the calamity, the challenge, the situation that you are going through, that it will affect every aspect of your life. It will permeate every iota aspect of your life. Pervasiveness stops you from building resilience because it affects your ability. Pervasiveness affects your ability to build resilience because it portrays a total calamity. It makes the whole thing look, don't even bother. I mean, this is not just bad. This is BAD in invited commas. I mean, don't bother yourself. Everywhere you look, everything is finished. Just give it up. That's pervasiveness. But the reality is this: whatever challenge you are facing, whatever life situation that you are going through, whatever circumstance that is buffeting you right now, there is still some part of you that is not affected. If only you will open your eyes to see them. If only you will not indulge and engage in this spirit of pervasiveness, where you think the whole world is against you. Everybody just don't like you. Oh, no. It's a lie from the pit of whatever. Pervasiveness. There is no denying, by the way, that your whole life will be affected by a tsunami, by the death of a loved one or a child. I'm not taking that away from you. But what I'm saying is, even in the midst of all of that, there's an element of you that is exonerated, that is cocoon, that is not affected. And if you can find that and latch onto that, it will become the pulling rope that will pull you out of the calamity that life has thrown at you. The number 3, the third roadblock to building resilience is permanence. Permanence. What is that? Permanence is the belief that the issue, the situation that you are going through, the trauma that you are facing, the calamity that is in your life right now, it will be there forever. It's a permanent situation. The truth is this, ladies and gentlemen, no storm in life come and they stay. They will come, they will do their thing, they will break, they will shake, they will destroy, and then they will go. And order will come back. There was a time when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans. I mean, it was like the end of the world. I've never been to New Orleans before or after Hurricane Katrina. But for those who live there, for those who've been there, if you go there now and they tell you Hurricane Katrina was here, you will find the person to say, who said that? Where are you for real in this place? Because it's not permanent. It came and it went, and the people pick themselves up and they get on going. And today, the rest is just story. But the sense of this will be here forever, this is just the story of my life, this is how it's going to ever remain. When you get into that, when you allow yourself to be dragged into that dog hole, guess what? You ain't coming out. You get to a point where you think, what's the point of even trying? This thing is here forever. Might as well learn to live with it. When all you needed to do was just switch, turn it around, and see the light at the end of the tunnel. So the 3 things that will stop you from building resilience are permanence, pervasiveness, and personalization. I hope this has helped somebody tonight. I hope something said tonight has added some values, has opened your eyes to see something, has given you something to latch onto, to remind yourself that whatever it is you are going through right now, whatever it is you are dealing with right now, ladies and gentlemen, it came, it will go. But more than that, you have the greater one on the inside of you. You have the greater one on the inside of you. The Bible said, God will not allow us to be tempted beyond what we can bear. But in the midst of that temptation, there's a way of escape. There is always a door of escape. But when you allow the situation to consume you and cloud your vision, you walk past that door of escape without even seeing it. But when you learn to build resilience, the inner self, the inner stamina, the courage, the strength, the backbone, when you develop resilience, you can face it. But more than that, you will come out victorious. You will come out to start your life again, to live a fruitful life, a wonderful life, to use the situation as a testimony to help somebody else to say, oh, look, listen. Let me tell you. If I pull my shirt, you will see the scar. I've been here before. I know you can come through this. This is what I did. This is how I handled it. And suddenly, it wasn't just the pain, but the pain has now turned to a medicine for somebody else. Develop, build your resilience. It might just be, it could just be the difference maker between where you are today and the destiny that God has for you. Because my passionate, complete belief is that we all have a destination. We all have a destination. There is a place that is prepared just for us, just for you and I. There is a place with your name on it that God in his wisdom reserved just for you. He said, I will send an angel to go before you to prepare that place that I have ordained for you even before the creation of the earth. That is what is awaiting you. Don't die on the journey. Don't give up on yourself. Don't let life situations and circumstances keep you bound in prison. Break out and soar over to your destination, because there's a destiny waiting for you. I love you. I honor you. I appreciate each and every one of you for the time tonight that we spent together. And I hope and I want to passionately believe that something that we have said tonight, something that has been mentioned tonight, has deposited a ray, a glimpse of hope. It has added an iota of strength and conviction to you, to the point where you know you have what it takes to excel in life. Until we meet again next week, ladies and gentlemen, I believe in you. I passionately, totally, convincingly believe in you and in the ability of God in you. Because we have a destination. Because there's a destiny waiting for us. So until we meet again next week, this is Tunde Disu once again saying, we are not going to give up. We refuse to cave in. We refuse to bury our heads in the sand. We have a glorious destiny. And we're not stopping until we get there. So that when we arrive at that destination, even the bystanders and the onlookers and the naysayers will say, surely, definitely, these are better men and better women. I love you. God bless you. We'll see you again next week. Until then, have a glorious week. Bye-bye for now.